So first question, this was on the Aric Almirola fan page on Facebook. Mark Rice, how big of a difference has Drew made as the new crew chief?
He's made a huge impact and a big difference. And I would say the biggest difference is just the way that he leads the team. He's a cheerleader. He gets the guys motivated and pumped up. He's very, very positive. And so he has been a great addition to the team just from that aspect of he's a people person. He gets along with everybody. He's got a great personality, very charismatic. So, you can put him in any sort of personnel situation and he will adapt and fit in and he's very likable. So that's been great having him come on board and be the type of team leader that he is. It's been really good. And I think he's brought about kind of a freshness to the race team and kind of rejuvenated our team.
Yeah, I don't want to ask anything specifically that could lead to like negative perceptions or whatever, but as a driver, like how important is it for you to have that type of relationship with your crew chief?
It's really important. I mean, you depend on that guy. You depend on him for everything, right? Like I drive the car, but I'm not in charge of the engineers designing the setup. I'm not in charge of the pit crew. I'm not in charge of, the guys in the shop. Like I'm a part of it, right? And people see me as the figurehead for our team. But at the end of the day, Drew is the crew chief, right? Like he is in sports terms, Drew is the head coach. Yeah. And I am like the quarterback, right? Like Tom Brady, of course, is involved with what's going on with special teams and he knows the people and he's in the same locker room as them, but he's not studying film with special teams and he's not telling them what to do, right? Yeah. And so when the Bucks win, Tom Brady is kind of the guy, right? And he gets all the spotlight, but he wasn't telling the right guard on special teams what to do on what play. But the head coach is involved in all of those things, right? The head coach has not only a personal relationship with all the players on the team, but he also is involved in the decision-making processes. Same for Drew. Drew's involved with all the personnel, but he's also involved with all the decision-making processes from all of the personnel. And so I depend on Drew heavily for all of that stuff. And I depend on Drew to be my guy, right? Like we have to have a good relationship because we communicate about the most important thing, the race car. If the race car is not fast and it's not doing what I want it to do, I'm not going to be able to go fast in it. And so him and I having a good relationship is important. And as a race car driver, it's a lonely feeling sometimes. Like you are out there on the racetrack, you're strapped into the race car, you feel like you're, just driving your butt off, you're racing for your life, and you're out there all alone. You feel all alone, right? But you have a team of several hundred people back at the shop and 20 people that weekend that are, specific to your car. But when you're strapped in the car and you're out on the racetrack, you feel alone. And so the crew chief and the spotter together, I rely on them to kind of be my sounding board and oftentimes my cheerleader. Like I need them to pump me up when things aren't going good because I'm already mad about the situation or I'm mad about myself or whatever. And so them being positive and a positive influence and cheerleading and all those things is very helpful.
Yeah, I have to imagine too it's just a personality meshing to communication styles and like what you're saying to him if said in a certain way. I mean, I don't know. Everybody's been in enough bad relationships to get that.
Well, it's finicky too because again, the driver, like I drive the car And it's my job to drive the car to the best of my ability and to the max potential of the car's capability. But then I have to complain about the car if the car's not doing what I want it to, right? Like I have to complain and say like, the car's not turning the corner like I need it to, or it doesn't have enough traction in the rear tires, like getting off the corner. And so when I am making comments about the car, different people can perceive that differently. Like I'm giving feedback about the car. If you fix these things, we'll go faster. I'll go faster. But then some crew chiefs get their feelings hurt, right? Because the crew chiefs, like the race car is their baby. Like they've put a lot of thought and effort into the car and designing the setup and everything that goes into the car. So they sometimes can get offended when you're saying the car won't do X because I need it to do this. And they'll get offended and get upset because you're complaining about something that they've spent 100 hours on or more preparing to get it ready for you to go to that race.